Good morning. Welcome back. Republican lawmakers warning that President Biden's executive order stopping construction of the Keystone XL pipeline will be devastating to thousands of Americans who were ready to work on the project.
One of those lawmakers joining us now, Wisconsin Congressman Bryan Steil. Congressman, thanks for being here. You know, when you think when you think Keystone XL pipeline, you think of the Dakotas, you think of Nebraska. How does this decision hurt your district there in Wisconsin?
A tough night last night with our Packers losing in Wisconsin, but let me tell you what. But let me tell you what really stings. Joe Biden on day one killing thousands of jobs, hundreds of those from the state of Wisconsin. Wisconsin, we build things, we make things. Men and women from the state of Wisconsin were working on the Keystone Pipeline, and on Joe Biden's first day in office, they got laid off because of a decision of Joe Biden looking to the far liberal left. We need to get this reversed, and if Joe Biden's not willing to do it, Congress is going to need to act.
Yeah, 11,000 U.S. jobs expected to have been created by the Keystone XL pipeline in 2021. So what are those people going to do now? President Biden says that he wants to give them clean, green energy jobs, but those jobs aren't going to be up and running for a few years. So what are those people going to do in the meantime?
I went and I spoke to these men and women who are directly impacted to this. A job in the future is not a lot of solace to someone who received a layoff notice on Joe Biden's first day in office. A layoff notice and a job in the future doesn't pay the grocery bill, doesn't cover the rent, doesn't cover the mortgage. We need to have Joe Biden reverse this decision immediately. And if he's not willing to do it, Congress is going to have to act.
Yeah.
Congressman, do you get a sense that the underpinnings of a lot of this by the Biden administration and by the far left is that, in a few years, oil and gas are going to be done, when in reality, let's take a step back and say that ain't happening anytime soon?
Well, it's also completely a false narrative that this oil and gas isn't coming to the United States. It's coming. It's just going to come by truck or by rail, a far less efficient and a far less environmentally friendly manner than bringing it on a safe and thoughtful pipeline from Canada into the United States. And further, this decision makes us more dependent on Russia, more dependent on the Middle East, more dependent on Venezuela. We need a North American secure supply of energy for our needs here in the United States.
Yeah, you bring up such a good point. Canada is still going to be pumping that oil. They're just either going to ship it off to other countries or bring it into the United States by train. So what do you think killing the Keystone XL pipeline really does for the economy, or for the environment, rather?
I don't think it does a lot for the environment. I think it does a lot for these far liberal activists that Joe Biden is pandering to. What we need to do is reverse this decision immediately. We need to allow these men and women to get back to work. This is private sector investment in infrastructure. It's exactly what we need right now when so many people across the United States are looking for work. The last thing we need is Joe Biden taking his pen and killing thousands of jobs on day one.
It'll be curious to see if this potential lawsuit by Canada to force this is going to happen. Definitely pay attention to that. Sir, I'm sorry about the Packers, but again, when your defensive coordinator decides to have a horrible scheme there at the end, you're going to lose. It's not Rodgers' fault.
And 2 minutes left with the football. You got to go for the touchdown. You can't kick a field goal. A disappointing day, but let me tell you, it doesn't hurt as bad as those men and women that got laid off by the action of Joe Biden on day one.
Sticking to script. We appreciate it, Congressman, and keeping us on schedule.